The very first evictee to leave the Big Brother house is our microfabricant, and it's so lovely to have you on the sofa.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? You've been evicted.
I know, well, I was a bit sad to be evicted, but when I was up against two superstars, I was up against...
Well, you're a star yourself.
You
I
are,
thought you were
man, you are
great.
now.
You were so good in there. I was so disappointed to see you
yeah,
go.
well, you know, I was up against Jack from Corrie, so this is me making excuses. Corrie fans were all voting for Jack, who's a lovely guy. And then, of course, there's the Mickey Rourke people who supported him, A, because he really is a big star, and B, they were thinking, my God, what's the guy going to do next?
Yeah.
And he was completely unpredictable. I mean, I must tell you that I volunteered right at the very beginning to be what I called Torchy the Battery Boy. Now, older viewers will remember, if I can demonstrate, Torchy, Torchy, the battery boy.
That's right.
I'm a walking, talking toy.
Yeah.
And that was a pre-runner by the famous Jerry and Sylvia Anderson crew who made Thunderbirds a go.
Yeah.
And Fireball XL5.
You volunteered to do
my
that.
job was to replace the batteries on the radio mics every morning,
Oh,
every
yes,
evening.
I forgot about that. Do you remember you had to change the battery?
Mickey would sleep with all his clothes on, would sleep on the couch. He didn't want to get into a bed.
Yeah, he didn't like the bed, did he?
And I would pull out his radio mic because he was still half asleep and was covered in chocolate, melted chocolate.
No.
It was,
been hanging out with
Mickey
Phil.
was on another planet for the whole TV
So he was
show,
keeping chocolate in his back pocket?
along with the radio mic. So, you know,
Right.
trying to prise it open and get
So what, do you
another
think he was
battery in.
stealing the chocolate?
I don't know where he
Where's
got
he
the
getting the
chocolate
chocolate
from.
Where's he
God
getting the
knows.
chocolate
I don't
from?
know.
Yeah.
Maybe he smuggled it into the Big Brother house.
You really enjoyed it in there, didn't you?
I loved it. You know, I went in prejudiced and thought, I'm going to have to endure it day by day. How can I stand this? In fact, I loved the people. Danny and I became really close.
Yeah.
Which
He
would
loved
not
you.
Be,
Yeah.
Which would not be... Well, I mean, I loved him, and I hope to see
Well,
him
he
again.
said in the beginning, I wasn't quite sure about you, and then you loved you.
Yeah. Well, he's got this thing about, I'm hugging a Tory. I can't believe I'm doing it. And, no, he was a lovely guy. They were all lovely. I really, really liked them, and they were friends. And you get institutionalised, you know? You sort of... And then going back last night into the garden, I got quite teary at one point because I remembered sunbathing with Jack. You saw a little bit of it there when he was... Because he was shouting a nasty word at Jojo.
Yeah,
That was Mickey was shouting. And, yeah, it was, very sad for me to go back in, really.
Definitely,
because,
but I think...
And I was dying. I was banging on the window.
He was...
Welcome to Celebrity Big Brother Live! Oh, yes! We are counting down to the final, and it's a party in here tonight, let me tell you. Joining me is this incredible audience of party animals. We also have Michael Fabricant, a.k.a. DJ Fab, bringing the band. Michael, how are you?
Groovy, baby!
What did you think of tonight's episode?
Oh, it was groovy, baby!
What have you been up to since leaving the Celeb Big Brother house?
Well, I'm grooving, baby!
We've got James Barr from Hits Radio here as well.
James, do you reckon that Mickey used his guardian angel power well? Who would you have given it to?
I would have given it to Michael, of course. I am very excited,
Spot the
Michael.
real politician.
I'm excited for what you do next. I want to see you on Naked Attraction. There's two wigs.
The look on your face!
I was excited. My heart.
Wow.
I thought it was going to happen.
Oh, my God.
We've lost control of the room. We've
Right,
lost control of the room.
Michael. Trisha said that she thought that Mickey would find the house difficult. You've spoke about how he wanted to leave. How do you think he's taken the whole ordeal? How do you think he'll cope in the house?
Badly. I mean, actually, Danny summed it up, that Mickey just sees what's around him. I mean, it is very funny. I don't know whether you saw, but, like, he was putting all his clothes on Chesney's bed.
Yes, yes.
I mean, and then he put some on my bed. I mean, it's just...
Hang on, can I ask a quick Mickey question? So, does he sleep in his bed and then he gets up and then he gets on the sofa, or does he sleep on the sofa all night?
He sleeps on... Difficult to say. Sleeps on the sofa all night.
He's a sexy person.
But he... I wouldn't mind if he put all his stuff on his own bed, but he doesn't.
That's
It's everybody
amazing.
else's bed.
That's amazing.
Housemates are waking up in the celebrity Big Brother house.
We weren't having sex. We were just talking.
Good morning, my queen.
Morning, Danny.
I was talking to Jojo, but if the shoe fits, Michael.
Michael is talking to Chris about his time as an MP.
What would a typical day-to-day be like for you?
Yeah, good question.
Like, what is it, like 9 till 5 or what?
No.
you
The
just-
hours were horrific. So...
Do you work on different things?
Yes.
At the same time?
So you've got two different roles, really. One
Yeah.
as a legislator, actually getting laws through Parliament.
Yeah.
And the other role is actually looking after your constituents.
Yeah. When you say constituent, what does that even mean?
So I represented the Lichfield constituency, it was called.
So it's
which was
people who are within that constituency?
in that area who can vote.
So you really were the governor?
Yes.
You're at the top, aren't you?
Yes, of my small
Yeah.
constituency
Yeah.
setup.
Does that job, right, is it quite a sexy job? Does it get you women?
No.
Does it not?
No, it's not that type of job.
No, but some job roles, you could be like...
I don't think
you're in a man of a position.
women are not going to be attracted by a member of Parliament, you know.
Depends who the person
I
is.
mean,
doesn't
I
it?
was the only MP who refused to wear a suit.
Did you?
So I just used to wear a jacket, a shirt like this.
Just an open shirt?
No, I'd wear a tie.
Blazer? You mean like just chinos in a shirt and a blazer and a tie?
Yeah.
Michael was telling me about all the women he used to get when he was in
He's lying.
power.
What he really means is all the men I used to get. They used to throw
Right,
themselves at my feet.
Did
No,
they?
of course not.
Let's go, Georgie.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, chin up, chin up.
Nearly broke his neck.
Hang on.
No, I got it.
I love the way you were steering. I love the way you were steering me with the legs. I want to know the swine's were.
Have a chat, you're all right.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel upset.
Yeah, I'm a little.
It's all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You've been yourself.
Yeah, maybe too much myself,
No,
so I've given
never
plenty
too
of...
much. Listen, I've made no beating around the bush. I think politically we're two different people and I've come in here to try and not judge you. I think you've been wonderful to live with.
Oh, thank you.
You've been yourself. I'm actually proud of you to know you as a person away from the politics.
Thank you.
It's been fun to be around. You lift the room, you know.
But they still voted for me.
But it could have been 2 people. It could have been 3 people. Don't. Honestly, my street cred's going down hugging a Tory. So make this quick. Make this quick, because I can't be seen hugging a Tory.
Welcome back, Michael.
As you know, I didn't want to leave the Big Brother house when I did.
Michael, Big Brother has a very special mission for you.
Go on. Oh, I like secret missions.
Big Brother would like you to hide the eggs in your basket around the house.
I think this will be a good place to hide it. Nobody will find that. That is a safe place. Hello, I'm Michael Fabricant MP, and this is the first in a series to tell you a little bit more about Parliament. And first of all, we're going to look at the Whip's office. Now, why are the Whips called the Whips? Well, it all goes back to fox hunting days when you used to have the whip us in, keeping the foxhounds all together. And that's what whips try and do with members of Parliament in their party. But really, it's like herding cats. So, is whipping all about discipline? That's not allowed anymore. Instead, it's all about gathering intelligence. So Tarquin, as you know, we've got some pretty tricky legislation coming up. Can we count on your support?
Well, Michael, support is a big word.
Gentle persuasion. But Tarquin, you know how serious this legislation is. If it doesn't go through and your vote is crucial, the government could fall and you'll be out of a job. And sometimes, just a little bribery. Tarquin. I can call you Tarquin, can't I?
Of course.
We think that your principles, your intelligence, means that we would be able, if you could support the government, to put you in the House of Lords.
No. It's a matter of principle.
Tarquin, if we offer you money, will you support the government?
Still no.
Well, maybe not bribery with cash, but a good whip's office helps keep the show on the road.
I've got in the studio with me here now former MP Michael Fabricant, former colleague of mine, to discuss this. I mean, this is very good news for reform, isn't it, this poll?
Of course it is, but I'll say what everybody says, which is it's only one poll. They always say that.
Well, all the recent polls have
yes,
put
this
reform
month it's been bad news for the
25.
Conservative Party, that's for sure. And, of course, in a way, it's bad news for the right, I would argue, because this actually splits the vote by having two right-wing, if you can call the Conservative Party right-wing, maybe that's the problem. Two right-wing parties, whereas Labour are alone on the left, apart from when you had the Gaza Party, as it were, you know, a few months ago.
Yes, and of course that doesn't affect every constituency, whereas we are seeing a reform vote share rise in every constituency. Of course, what people are now thinking is what happens at the next election. A lot of people are fed up with the Labour government, particularly people on the right who would call themselves Conservatives. But if it goes on as it is, with reform on 26, Conservative on 23, let's say, at the next election, Labour could still come through the middle.
Yeah, and that's really what happened this time, because it wasn't in 2024 people voting actively for the Labour Party. It was just simply to vote against the Conservatives. But in many areas, including yours, I suspect, and mine, reform took enough votes away from the Conservatives, and so I lost by a few hundred, you know. But that's democracy.
And we're now joined by Conservative MP for Lichfield, Michael Fabricant. Michael, thank you for joining us. What's your take on Andrew Bridgen's speech? I mean, Anne here, one of our viewers, says, I don't like what Andrew Bridgen said about COVID and the vaccine, but he didn't compare it to the Holocaust. He said since the Holocaust, so he should not have had the whip removed. What do you say to Anne?
Well, I would say, you know, Andrew Bridgen was a little bit unwise even mentioning the Holocaust. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, if I may, but I just want to say I heard Starmer's speech as well. And it was the same old thing where he just says, agree with what Ireland is going to suggest, agree with what Brussels is going to suggest, otherwise we're argumentative. I mean, the guy doesn't know anything about negotiation. But to get back to your point, look, I'll be honest with you, I was brought up in a Jewish family. I'm not practicing Jewish or anything, but, you know, it was distasteful, the comment about the Holocaust. But frankly, I was more annoyed by his comments about the vaccine. because it has saved millions of lives across the world. It's saved hundreds of thousands of lives here in the UK. Yes, there can be the occasional rare complication, but to suggest that we shouldn't take the vaccine, and later on he was saying that we shouldn't even engage in taking future mRNA vaccines, where there is incredible research going on at the moment to combat cancers with mRNA vaccines.
Why shouldn't the government be too worried about UKIP in a general election?
Because if they get the same percentage of the vote, which is 23% of the vote, they won't get any seats at all. So a quarter of the country can vote for you, and you get nothing. Which shows the system's working.
But the good news is
that you're still in.
Is that the BNP would get in if you went for a proportional representation system.
Right. So you're saying better to keep it as it is?
I'm just saying that the British public, I'm putting on my Conservative Party voice now, the British public know what parties to support that will be reasonable and moderate. And that's all I want to say at this time. Imagine now, the wife, the children, the baggage. They get on the train at Lichfield City Station, but let me say this applies to stations up and down the country, and they end up at Birmingham New Street. And then what happens? They then have to leave Birmingham New Street with the two children and all their bags and walk for 22 minutes, and I want to praise at this point Councillor Tony Thompson in Lichfield, who has done this walk and timed it, without, though, the children and without all the bags. It took him 22 minutes to tramp across, here's me, tramping across Birmingham.
Well, can I say to my honourable friend, I'm grateful for his question. I do, Mr. Speaker, I have noticed that my honourable friend apparently is shortly to appear on a Channel 4 programme called Celebrity First Dates. Mr. Speaker, what I'm not sure about is whether my honourable friend is the celebrity or the first date, but maybe...
It's thanks to Margaret Thatcher. And her robust treatment of militant trade unions in the West Midlands. Her contribution of £10 billion at today's prices to the motor industry in the West Midlands, that iconic names like Jaguar and Land Rover still exist. So does the Prime Minister share my boundless joy that on the road to Damascus, and in recognition of her great heritage and all that she achieved, another fanboy has joined her great